entitled Neighbor Shouts at My 7-year-old. Unsure if this is the right sub, but here I go. Longtime lurker, first-time poster. My daughter often goes up and down the street on her scooter. Just one of those you push yourself, not electric or anything. I watch her from the top. Today a lady at the bottom of the street stops her, puts her hand in front of my daughter's face, and shouts, "Stop. Go home, never scooter again." It is a disturbance. For clarification, like I said, it's not electric, barely noticeable. She's on a public street, none of us have drives, so she's not on anyone's property at all. So I see this altercation from the top of the street and walk down to see what's what. My daughter's crying and tells me what she said. I try to ring the woman's Ring doorbell. She can clearly see me but doesn't answer. Clearly can bully a child but not an adult. She hasn't said anything since, but I spoke to my family and they said if she does anything else to report her to the police. I'm just so disgusted and furious. Acting like she owns the street. We also live next to a university, so it's not exactly a quiet little neighborhood. We're next to a city. Just for some extra info, I texted a friend who lives at the bottom. Seeing if she knew her, she said she did. This woman has told them not to sit outside their own door. You have to hear to get the sun doesn't go round back. She also took pictures of them. My friend ended up telling her to F off, quite rightly so. Absolute weirdo. Just a little edit. I've told my daughter about some of the comments she's chuffed. It's helped to show her there are nice people about. Don't ever want her to lose that, so thank you guys. Take that baby out every day to ride her scooter. Walk with her. Dare that lady to say a word. Record if she steps outside. Buy one for yourself and join your daughter. Play with your daughter in the street as often as you can until she feels safe again. We want to encourage outdoor play. Send your daughter my good wishes from Scotland. We are all on your daughter's side. Yes. I asked everyone. Don't wait, make a police report now since she didn't come out and talk to you. Better to build up a case now than wait for things to escalate. How telling that she's brave enough to confront a child but hide away from an adult. Afraid she'll get a taste of her own medicine. What a pathetic person. Sounds like one of those oh so charming individuals who can't handle that they may see, or God forbid hear, a child in a public space. Because of course they were placed on the planet by God himself. Aged 35 and asking for a manager. I would call the police non-emergency number today and file a report. If she physically touched your daughter in any way, that is assault. Obviously, there is some mental defect there. It might do to call your local office on aging to see if there can be a wellness check or social worker assigned. If she is experiencing senility and is physically confrontational, she could be a danger to herself and others. Get a scooter too and ride up and down with your daughter. Team Petty saluting face. Hope your daughter is okay. That's too bad. In contrast, when I used to take my kids over the cul-de-sac right around the corner, the elderly couple living there would often come out and watch and say how much they missed having children around. Looks like someone needs an electric scooter with a nice loud bell. Add a GoPro camera to your kiddo's scooter kit to document if there is a future interaction with the curmudgeon neighbor. I'd buy myself a scooter and scooter up and down the street with my child as much as possible, while gleefully yelling about how much fun we are having. I would bang on her door non-stop until she answered. She would not like the words that would be coming out of my mouth when she did. I would knock every day. Twice. Hell, 3 times a day until she answers. This lady doesn't even know what annoying is yet. Most people have that one neighbor who has no life and think people should not enjoy their neighborhood. I'm glad you are a wonderful mother. I'm sure she is proud of you. That lady is just a mean, lonely and bitter person. Leave a note on her door informing her that she has no right or power to prevent someone from using a public road, and that if she approaches your daughter again you'll be calling the police for harassing a minor. Give her a whistle. If the lady shows up again, have her blow the whistle and scream "Stanger danger" until you can reach her. Buy yourself your own scooter and a set of leggings, long-sleeved top in flesh color, as skin-tight as you can get into, and ride away with your 7-yo. Bonus points if you can find a way to put flashing lights or colorful streamers etc. on there too. Make aggressive eye contact when riding past her house but say nothing. Get yourself a scooter and ride them together. Go down there and wait. Let your daughter scooter up and down to her heart's content. Let that raggedy lady watch. I remember I was a little kid getting yelled at by stupid neighbors for making noise or riding scooter or even being able to be seen from their window. It's so awful because it feels like they have all the power. Grown adults who yell at kids who aren't even their own are pathetic losers, man. Hi. I work in contracting and can confirm that when people don't have anything better going on, they move their property lines out to the road so they feel like it's okay to pick a fight with strangers. You're a taxpayer. Fuck them. Can we get your daughter a lighted helmet, scooter lights and a bell? This lady sounds like a real gem. It's so rare for kids to have the safety and peace they used to. Don't let this Karen take that away from your kiddo. Perhaps a scooter party? Scooter gang? Regular scooter meetups on your street? Is 7 too young for a girl's first pepper spray? Maybe the Barbie edition. I had a neighbor get onto my stepdaughter for riding her bike on the sidewalk. She was 5 and I was right behind her with her baby brother in a stroller. I told that bitch off. The street isn't safe for bikes in our neighborhood. Too many morons driving like bats out of hell. Also, she wasn't disturbing anyone. No one was walking on the sidewalk, and if someone was, she would have stopped and moved to the side to let them pass. My neighbor has one with an obnoxious freaking engine on it, but I still keep myself to myself about it because he enjoys it. And it really isn't hurting me. Sometimes my dog yells at him about it, but I can't control that dude. Be careful. A 9-year-old girl was shot in the head and killed 2 weeks ago in Chicago by a neighbor who was aggravated by her playing on her scooter. Also OT electric. Make her life more miserable. That's your baby. People who can't control themselves need to get the fuck out of society and live in the woods or something. I have so much hatred and anger in my heart that I never let anyone see. If I can smile and nod and not be a piece of shit, I expect others to as well. Haha. You know what makes scootering more fun? Music. Loud happy music. And friends. Lots of happy friends scootering up and down and up and up and down all day long, with bellies full of sugar to energize them and balloons tied to handlebars. If you do get to talk to her, please say, if you want to go be a crotchety old hermit, sell your house and go buy yourself something with some acreage. Otherwise, you best learn how to be neighborly because you're not entitled to shit here. I would attach a bell and give it several rings while passing her house. Please get a scooter and go with her. Go out and get the loudest electric scooter you can find and set it up so this little angel can have a ball at the end of the road where it is safe for her to play and you to watch. When's the scooter flash mob scheduled? Zip tie a canned air horn to your daughter's handlebars. Let nature take its course and don't punish your daughter for some malicious action that may or may not occur. Get a scooter for yourself and race your daughter up and down the block. Walk with your daughter and stand on the public sidewalk in front of that woman's house. Let your daughter zip back and forth a while. Repeat daily. Be prepared for war, whatever that means to you. I don't want to get banned, so I won't offer further details. Don't let her go alone. Here in Chicago's Portage Park neighborhood, a friend's 9-year-old niece was murdered, shot in the head by a neighbor specifically for riding her scooter up and down, making too much noise. The child's funeral was yesterday. Google Sarabi Medina, may she rest in peace. Children should not be harassed by people with ugly behavior. Tell your child to never grow up and become that person. Also enjoy your liberties and rights. I would write a note and tell her that next time she puts a hand on your child, you will have her charged with the assault. Sounds like a time to go stand on the sidewalk in front of the lady's residence and play a portable speaker nice and loud. Give your kid the okay to egg and TP that lady's house come Halloween, preferably while scootering. Go to other neighbors' houses. Knock. Be friendly. Ask them if they have problems with a kid riding a scooter. They won't. Then lightly drop weird. That woman shouted at my daughter, so I wanted to understand why, and she wouldn't speak to me. Why don't kids play outside anymore? Oof, my blood boils reading this. I'd teach my kid how to play ding dong ditch at this bitch's house at like 2 a.m. Mislabeled, should have been entitled Neighbor Gets Ass Kicked and Now They Can't Find Her Body. I'm not saying I would threaten her life for doing that to my kid. But I'm not saying I wouldn't either. Sounds like you need an electric scooter to me. Time to speak to street and organize a street scooter bike event. Maybe even fortnightly. Everyone invited, including friends and friends' kids. With a street barbecue afterwards. With a band. I see people saying go scootering with your daughter, but why not get the whole family and as many neighbors, friends and kids' friends and do circles in front of her house. Report her now. Not only would I have her play in her scooter there every day, I would also loudly cheer her every action. Then I would buy her the loudest toys I can find and play with her in front of the neighbor, then post it in petty revenge. I won't say what my advice is to you because all probs get banned, but I'm sure you get what I'm saying. Time for mommy to get her own scooter, take her every day. Oh, and a daily stop in front of her house for checking shoelaces would be fun. I wouldn't do it so my daughter didn't have to experience her again. But it sounds fun. Go buy an adult scooter and scoot with her. Why don't kids play outside anymore? Pick your poison, but guard your daughter's hearing. This is not right to do. However, some years ago a neighbor's son would ride a big wheel tricycle up and down the road. The plastic wheels made a loud, annoying noise. We let it go because I likely made an equal amount of noise when I was a kid. Tell all the teenagers in your neighborhood about it. Ding Dong Ditch will be played. Give her an annoying foghorn, and every time the lady approaches she can blow it in her face. Or you do it and ride with her. Apparently this nutbat owns the neighborhood and everyone is her subject. Screw her, may be what she needs, and live your lives. She fucking sucks. Fuck her. Get in her face and threaten her. When nothing is recording, she won't do shit again. Promise. Okay, so that may seem harsh, but guarantee you Tony Soprano would take care of this problem only once. Man shrugging. Get yourself an adult-sized scooter and go with your daughter. Dare the woman to say anything. Rolling on the floor laughing. Pro revenge. Get her an electric siren to attach to her scooter and so she can set it off when going past the crazy's place. And like a mini megaphone, the child will take things from here. I'd be out there with her constantly scootering with my phone out to record and file a report about her if she comes near my kid. Do you have a dog? A friend with a dog? I'm thinking dog poop on the sidewalk right at her stoop. Assuming your friends were on their own property, she can't take pictures of them and they have grounds to call the cops. Agree with above, but would add a carton of eggs with a strong arm will make you feel vindicated with no consequence to yourself. Police report, cease and desist letter. Yell at my child and find out how much of an asshole I will be. This is so fucked up. I am 44 and still remember aged 6 being yelled at by some old hag for climbing a tree in my own yard. I was 6 and neighbors hated Helena, but she had lovely flowers in her yard. I stopped to talk to her. She invited me in for tea and told me about her grafted citrus trees. Over the years she proved to be a friend. Side of her house was raspberries and blueberries, all we could eat. Out front, figs and cosmos flowers. She was a nice lady. Sometimes the bad behavior is that others treat them poorly. If your kid is inclined, have them go talk to her. This might work itself out. Not the asshole that old coot can go die in the old fart home for all I care. Go with the kid while she uses the scooter. It's a public street. F that lady bro, just start walking with her, and if she says something just put her in her place. Literally nothing she can do about it as long as your kid isn't in the middle of the road with cars coming. I walk with my 3-year-old while he learns his tricycle just in case anybody has something funky to say. People are weird. Man lady was just looking for something to take her frustrations out on. As sad as that is, lol. She would have gotten terrorized in our neighborhood, lol. We were a bunch of little shits though. Zip tie harmonicas to the side of her scooter and handlebars, then send her to only ride in front of grandma's house. Stand outside and dare her to come say anything. I don't have children, but just reading what you posted has my blood boiling. You're a better person than me. I'd have kept knocking on her door till she answered. Just like the massive barbecue for the entitled vegans. Get everyone to ride scooters on your street. Scooter for Joy Day. I berated a neighbor for yelling at my brother and sister. I am 10 years older than they. When they were younger and just playing normally in our own driveway. Do not let people like this get away with this. Go to her front door and tell her that it shall never happen again, and when it does, show her the anger that she deserves. Remember, some people only respond to strength. See the petty queen in me says next time she goes for a scoot, you grab yourself a basketball and just walk that ball all the way down the block and back. Maybe twice a day or so. We must fell this witch, blood will be spilled. Dump birdseed in her yard, she will be cleaning shit for days. I would have called the police. You can't touch other people's children in any manner. Even if it just put a scare in her. The audacity. These entitled killjoys are everywhere. A neighbor opposite me threatened to call the police on my sons because they were playing with a football on the square of grass at the junction of our road. I checked with the parish council that there was no bylaws about this space and have carried out a program of ignoring the hell out of him and being super polite to his wife for the past 10 years. That'll teach him. Can't wait for the day you get your darling a little 50cc motorcycle and she rides back and forth on the street. Don't wait for her to do it again. Ring her doorbell every day. Walk with your child, and when the he woman comes out, both of you smile and wave every time you see her. Will surely push her off and you will be showing your child how to behave. If that's a disturbance, clearly your daughter needs to take up the bagpipes and do all her practicing outdoors. Mrs. Kravitz gonna learn. Get your own scooter and ride with the kiddo. See if bully neighbor has anything to say about that. Tell your daughter to go use her scooter again and go near her place while you watch from a short distance. As soon as she walks out, go to her and get in her face and tell her to try to bully you around. Then tell her if she ever talks to your daughter again next time, you won't be so nice. 2 words block party. Bring your scooters, roller skates and elaborate invitations, but leave her box empty. Time to get yourself a scooter and start popping tricks in front of her house. Go postal and petty. Wait outside her on the public sidewalk by her house until she comes out and scream at her from the top of your lungs that she is a nasty Karen and she should stay inside. If I were you, I'd double down on that one and get the whole family scooters and ride them up and down the street every spare moment we have. Maybe even get some handlebar streamers and a little horn for each one. Winking face sounds like that neighbor lady is a miserable asshole. My reaction would instantly to go buy a motorcycle again and rev that bitch while passing her house. Every single time. Like Randy Marsh status. Don't cave to a cow like this. I had a similar neighbor. And life was a lot more peaceful when I gave her a reality check that she doesn't own the entire block. They lose their nerve when you tell them off. If you want to be extra, you can give your kid a squirt gun or spray bottle and tell her if the lady comes at her again to spray the lady with water and say something to the effect of, "No bad old lady, no bullying, get back in your house and think about what you've done. Old lady, bad old lady." Got any friends who might have a motorcycle that you could borrow for an afternoon? Sounds like you met a Karen in the wild. I have seen an increasing number of videos about their proliferation. Still haven't heard of any concrete steps being taken to call them. But I hope smarter people than me are working on it. Buy a scooter and ride with her. Regardless if it's a push or electric scooter. She has no right to tell your daughter anything. Call police if it happens again. If the scooter happens to have tires with spokes, it's time to strap on a playing card for the old-fashioned clacking noise. A bicycle bell would be nice, or even strands of jingle bells. Perhaps also get a small bullhorn and follow behind, coaching your daughter like she's training for the Olympics. Occasionally play the Rocky theme song through the bullhorn. Just like your daughter can do as she likes in public, so can the woman. Your daughter is entitled to use her scooter fully legally in public. The woman is entitled to not like it and be a bitchy Karen. Your daughter is not required to comply. If the Karen lays a single finger on your daughter, call the cops and fill out a felony child abuse complaint. Was your child on her property? Report her to the police for accosting your child. So, where are we all scootering? Police report, cease and desist letter. Is it possible you're the asshole H? And your kid is causing a disturbance with loud rolling cheap kiddie car wheels? I ask this because I'm on the other side. I have inconsiderate neighbors who encourage their kids to scream at the top of their lungs. And they feel this is normal. Call the police to get a record of the events in case it escalates. And maybe they can tell her to back off. Even if the scooter isn't electric, it's still dangerous to scoot on it in the middle of the street. I mean, cars can drive on the street, right? Is she following any rules as she toodles about on her scooter? A was 2 WSAEE. Just a thought, could the lady be suffering from some sort of mental illness? So you let your 7-year-old play in a street that is used by 4 KLB vehicles. Between the age of 5, 9, 2,000 children are injured and killed yearly because a parent let them play in the street. OP has corrected my thought on this. I was under the impression that cars also travel where the young girl was OP. Have her scooter specifically in front of her house while blasting annoying sounds. When neighbors comes out, start recording her, then share on TikTok here. Your 7-year-old didn't tell you what the neighbor said. She told you what she thought she heard because she's 7. You have to hear to get the sun doesn't go round back is an example of what you're hearing from a third-party source. Nonsensical. Which says it's not really what you think it is. What I am about to post may not be received well, but why is a 7-year-old little girl writing anything without parental supervision? Forget the crotchety old lady. Someone could snatch that child so fast without anyone even noticing. Kids have been snatched in front of their own houses going out to check the mail. She is too young to be out by herself for any reason. Had mommy been with her daughter, crotchety old lady would have left 7-year-old alone. Bad mommy. Get that kid a dirt bike. If someone ever does this kind of shit to either of my daughters, there's going to be some violence. Make a police report now. Then you need to tell your daughter to say my mom wants to talk to you about that if she is approached again. And encourage her to write as much as possible. Depending on where you live, call a health welfare check. That's assault and it's illegal. She approached your daughter in a hostile manner and scared her. If she touched her, that's battery. Call the non-emergency number and file a report. Also, I love the idea of a scooter party. I would personally ride that scooter up and down until she came out. Get a scooter of your own. Join your daughter and just keep riding past the neighbor. Have some choice words picked out in case the person decides to come have a chat. Please be careful. Read the story on Sarabi Medina in Chicago. People are strange. Tell her thank you, good idea, and get her into skateboarding. Wait till she hears the sounds of that. F that, get the baby an electric scooter. Skateboards, roller skates, bikes, ramps, street hockey, football, lacrosse, horse riding. Do all the activities you can in front of your house with your child and have the best time. My son and his neighbor friends, all the same age, around 9, got told they were making too much noise at 1,830 hours by a neighbor. They're good lads and actually respected this. However, we told them the cutoff is 20-45 hours and they are allowed to smash the fun until then. Ha! Bedazzle that scooter and get a horn and bell as well. Do you have a car by chance? Rev it up in front of their house. A child was shot in Chicago recently doing this. I'd be getting the rest of my children. Kidding us all out. Strapping my skates on. Setting up my JBL and having a disco in front of her house. I live next to my town's main street and have a family across the street. The kids aren't loud, but there's enough traffic where I literally only remind them to be careful. Good kids. Go up to that woman and give her peace of your mind. She is a bully and only understands one thing. And that is to tell her off sternly. Why wouldn't you report it to the police from the start? I'm sure you know from news coverage that kids get shot by freaks like that on a regular basis. Boy, talk about a cranky-ass big baby. I'm waiting for part 2 on the Petty Revenge sub. Time to organize a uni-scooter party on your street. I'd be buying a second scooter and riding along with your daughter. Might even say an electric. Which BTW. Makes no additional noise. Be extremely careful. Recently a child was shot and killed for riding her bike in the street. She wasn't causing a disturbance and her father was too far to block the shot. Hun. Take that baby outside every day to enjoy the scooter she deserves to have a healthy childhood with. Playing outside as part of her life experiences. Don't let that lady pull you and your baby down. For that reason, Build up a case if you have to against that lady. She has no control on what's going on in your neighborhood. You and your daughter have the rights to be outside and enjoy the beauty. I would sit my happy ass down on the public sidewalk, back to the lady, and watch while my kid rode the scooter in a circle only in front of this lady's house. Everyone in the neighborhood gets scooters to ride. It's during the day, she has no power here. I'd buy my kid a helmet and a gas-powered scooter. I would make it my full-time job to be as disruptive as possible. I mean within reason, where you're not being a total tool towards the rest of the neighborhood. But definitely way more annoying right in front of her house than I ever have been in the past. Buy a gas-powered scooter on Amazon and rip up and down the street. But stop in front of her house and do a burnout. Looks like it's time for you to get some new wheels. I expect to see an update in the following days about all the new tricks you've learned on your new scooter. I haven't ridden a scooter in over 15 years, but I can guarantee you if this happened to my child, I'd be ordering one immediately and be up and down that street like Evel Knievel. I'd be doing everything that's legal to annoy the crap out of that woman. What a coward to yell at a child but ignore the parent. Put a bell on the scooter. I would probably take a turn on your daughter's scooter. Do some sweet bunny hops off this asshole's stoop. Do a couple gnarly whippets in her driveway. Throw a rock through window. Just get totally tubular. I have a psycho neighbor that once took an 8-year-old's in my care bike and hid it in her garage. We walked up and saw it and told her to give it back to us, which she did. Said she didn't know whose bike it was. It was a rainbow bike and she was the only kid in the suburb that had one. She should use TGE Street in front of her house. I think I've found my tribe here. I'd be blasting that bitch to kingdom come. Must ask, you said it happened while your daughter is in the street next to a university, so it's not exactly a quiet neighborhood. Yankee spelling. Is it safe? Tell your daughter to ignore the mean lady. If the lady persists, have your daughter start screaming, "You are not my mommy and I don't want to go with you," at the top of her lungs every time she sees the lady. This will basically insinuate that the lady is trying to abduct her and the entitled lady will worry about reputation and blow back. Buy a scooter op, go up and down the street with her. If she's got the balls to harass a small child, she can come out and talk to you. Even if she doesn't, at least you know it's bothering the hell out of her. Do you have friends? Do you have neighbors? Do your neighbors have friends? Time for all of you to have a scooter, bike and skateboard party with street chalk and drinks and snacks. Get as many people together and have them all in front of her driveway. Have them blast music and be like a block party. The minute she steps outside or looks out a window, someone points and everyone gets quiet and just stares, mean mugging her. Then all at once everyone points at her. This should make her very uncomfortable. Nothing will scare someone like the unity of a community against them. Get yourself a scooter and see if the neighbors can get scooters too, and scoot until your evil neighbor moves house. Yup, I think this fits the subreddit from what I read seen on YouTube. If I were you, I'd buy myself a scooter and go scooting with my daughter. But make it slightly annoying for her. Get some bells. Maybe one of those football noisemaker things, and just chant LALALALA, I am having such a nice time scootering. Maybe make some weird sarcastic flyers about how great scooters are and post them through her door. Helmet mounted GoPro. She's entitled to travel on the sidewalk and there is no expectation of privacy from what you can see without a telephoto lens from the sidewalk. Also, our society is FD. Just another perspective. There might be a mental health issue. The neighbor Even the early stage of dementia can cause oddly confused thinking as well as inappropriate anger. There are other mental and emotional issues that can cause overreactions. It's not just a sense of entitlement that would cause such behavior. That the neighbor was probably fearful of answering the door adds to the possibility of it being an issue other than self-entitlement. Being mean back is juvenile at best. Why not to meet the neighbor under peaceful circumstances? Both you and the neighbor might learn things, regardless of the reason for the behavior. My neighbor like that was known as Crazy Angela. A few years ago I spoke to her young adult son, and he said that he hadn't been home since he moved out. It turns out all of his friends who told him that his mom was crazy were right. His anxiety disappeared after moving away. I said, well, congratulations on figuring that out. There was a really tragic incident with a girl riding her scooter in a safe neighborhood in Chicago. And an unreasonable neighbor. I personally don't know if I'd escalate the situation. Provoking the insane is never worth it. I think we should all go scooting. The old busybody, what a real disturbance is. I would not have left her front door until she opened it. People like that make my skin crawl. What a piece of shit. Asshole neighbor you have. Sorry you have to live next to scumbags like that. She should apologize to your daughter. Buy her a really loud air horn. When said woman tries to stop her again, tell her to blow it. I would have called the police. If she touched your child's face, it's assault. The street is public. The neighbor has no rights to say your daughter can't use it. I'm the absolute opposite of this crazy lady, although still crazy in my own way. I love hearing kids outside playing, laughing with each other and their silly kid gossip as they pass. Did you hear that A likes B in class? Ooh, that sort of thing. It's fun and innocent. Who gets annoyed at kids being kids and enjoying the day? So sorry your little one had to deal with this, Karen. Not surprised in the slightest that she finds it appropriate to shout at a child, but cowers away when an adult turns up. Call the cops. Why exactly? The lady did nothing illegal. You'll only waste the cops' time and recourses. I absolutely hate people like this, the neighbor not the op. Take your baby out for an ice cream. Then be as petty as possible and ride a scooter with her as close to this lady's house as possible, without crossing her property. And have a great time. Buy the whole family scooters and all ride together up and down the street multiple times a day. Start at 6 a.m. Family exercise is the best also. Be sure to call out to your child to make sure she is having fun. And make sure she calls back equally loudly to you. Tell your daughter to wear a GoPro on her head and see if the lady is stupid enough to harass her again. If so, take that recording to the police.